Hey guys, it's Steph and welcome back to the Fragrance Direct YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this makeup look using just W7 makeup products. W7 is by far one of my favorite brands that you can pick up on the Fragrance Direct website. They are super affordable and they tend to dupe a lot of high-end brands as well. So if you'd like to see how I created this look and the products that I used to create it, please stay tuned. So I've already prepped my skin, I've moisturized it and primed it. So next I'm going to go straight in with foundation. This is the Legend Lasting Wear Foundation. I haven't actually tried this one before from W7. I think it's the only foundation from them I haven't tried. So I'm just going to pop some of that on my brush, just like so. And I'm just going to buff that all over the skin. Blending that up onto my forehead. Got a little friend here that we're going to need to conceal in a minute. Yeah, on first impressions, that is a really nice foundation. It's kind of like a satin matte finish, so it's still glowy, but it does kind of mattify the areas that I want mattifying. So like around my T-zone and stuff. Yeah, that's really nice. Next, I'm gonna take the Got It Covered concealer palette, and I think I'm gonna go in with a mixture of these two shades here, just to conceal my under eyes and any spots. So I'm just taking a foundation brush, and just taking a mix of those two shades, and I'm just gonna apply that under my eyes. I'm also going to take some and apply it to my lid as well, just to act as a primer. And then I'll cover up that bad boy there, pretend that never happened. And also get rid of a little bit of discoloration just around my mouth as well. And then again, just blend all of that in with the same brush that I used before. Next, I'm going to be taking one of their contour sticks. I'm just going to be using the darker side, just to chisel out those cheekbones a little bit. So I'm just going to pop that just in the contours of my cheeks, just like that. Just kind of above my ear and sort of leading down to the corner of my mouth. And I'll also pop a little bit on my forehead and around my jawline as well. And then same brush as before, but this time I'm also just patting it in as opposed to buffing, just because I don't want to move it around too much. Next up is probably one of my all-time favorite W7 products. It's a recent discovery of mine, but I absolutely love it, and it is one of their Beam Me Up illuminators. This one is in the shade Dynamite. So it's essentially just a liquid highlighter, but it's super intense. So what I'm going to do is apply a couple of drops just to the tops of my cheekbones, and then take that same foundation brush again, and again just kind of tap it into the skin. It makes it super glowy, as you can see. Then I'm just going to apply some to the tops of my brows. That's just somewhere I always like to highlight. Try not to get it in your hair like I just did. I'm then going to quickly fill in my brows using the Queen of Brows Eyebrow Fiber Gel. So this one here is in the shade Dark. And I'm just going to work that through the bulk of my brow just to give them bit of a tint. I'm then going to powder all of these cream products down using the Selfie powder, which has a slight blue tint to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but apparently that makes your skin look really good in photos. Obviously, as you blend it out, it doesn't look blue or anything like that. It is more of like a translucent powder. But what I'm going to do first of all is just take a little setting brush and just apply that under my eyes. Oh, I've never actually used this powder before, but it is really smoothing out my under eyes. Wow, okay. I'm going to be using this a lot more because that is very smoothing. Then I'm going to take a larger brush and I'm just going to apply that all over the skin. So now that my base is looking pretty flawless, if I do say so myself, I'm going to move on to bronzing up my skin. So for that, I have the Honolulu bronzer. I've used the pressed version many times. It's very similar to the Benefit Hoola bronzer, but I'm going to be using the loose one today, which is something that I've never tried. So I'm just going to open that up. And this brush actually came with the bronzer, so I'm going to try using that. I'm going to swirl my brush in there. Make sure I tap off the excess. Don't want to be too bronzed today. I'm just going to pop that kind of in the contours of my cheeks, but also slightly higher, just to bronze everything up a bit. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of blusher, so I'm going to be using the same brush that I used for bronzer, and the blush that I have here today is one of the Matte Me blush ones. This one here is in the shade El Toro. So it just looks like that, quite a nice natural nudie pinky shade. Nicely pigmented, but not too intense, which is what I like. And I'm just going to pop that just above the bronzer. Next, we're going to do even more highlighting. So for that, I'm going to be using the Casino palette, and I'm going to be using this shade here. I'll quickly swatch that for you. As you can see, it's super intense, really icy. So I'm just going to take this fluffy brush and take a little bit of that powder. You really do not need a lot. And I'm going to apply that right to the tops of my cheekbones. And then again, just the same places where we put the liquid highlighter, I'm just going to go over the top of that to intensify it even more. Next I'll move on to eyes. So for eyes today I have a brand new palette to me. It is the Eye Cushions Dreamer palette and it looks like this. Lots of really nice neutral shades and also this kind of cranberry metallic shade here, which I think I might have to use. So these actually have the weirdest texture because just like the name would suggest, they are very, very cushiony. Let's just do a few swatches. Ooh, that is really, really nice. So also swatch the shade underneath. A nice kind of cool tone. And then let's swatch this shade up here. Ooh, lots of really, really nice tones there. So what I'm gonna do, since these are all metallic, I'm gonna go back in with that bronzer and just take a little bit on a fluffy brush and pop that in my crease. So I'll just swirl my brush in there, pick up whatever is left in the lid, and just pop that in my crease. That's a trick that I always like to do. If I have a palette that doesn't have any kind of matte shades or anything in it, I always just use the bronzer that I use or even the blusher or something. I'm then going to take a slightly dampened brush and I think I'm going to do a bit of a halo eye today. Can't quite decide which colour I fancy doing, so I think I'm going to do this one here, a little bit more of like a neutral colour. So I'm just going to take that on the brush. Oh, that's a very, very strange consistency with it being all putty-like. I'm just going to go in for a closer look and apply that on the outer corner of the eye. Wow, that is super metallic. And then I'll also take a little bit more and pop that on the inner corner as well. I'm then going to take that same brush that I used to start off with and just buff out the edges of that. I'm then going to take a smaller brush, again slightly dampened, and I'm going to take the lighter shade in the palette. And I'm going to apply that right on. And I'm going to apply that right to the center of the lid. Now before I go ahead and finish up with the other eye, I'm just going to go ahead and add some mascara. So this is the Lashes Gelor Mascara. It's in the shade Black. The one looks a little something like this, so it's kind of like a cone shape almost. I'm just going to wiggle that into the base of my lashes. Ooh, that's instantly given them a lot of volume, which is what I like. I've never tried this mascara before, but I love the majority of W7 mascaras. And it's safe to say that I love this one as well. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera and I will check back with you guys for the lips. So next for lips, I'm gonna be using one of their Lip Twister liners, which is one of my absolute favorite lip liners of all time. It's in the shade Very Nude. And I'm just gonna line my lips with that. It's a really nice kind of cool, neutral, nudie brown shade. And then last but not least, I'm going to be using another one of my favorite products from W7. It's their Mega Matte Liquid Lipstick. It's kind of like a moussey lip cream formula. This one here is in the shade Loaded, and as you can see, it's a super pale nudie shade. So I'm just going to pop that right in the center of my lips. Press them together. I'm actually going to mix it with a little bit of 2 Bob, which is this shade here. It's slightly darker. Just press that on with my fingers again. Sort out this hair, and that is the finished look. So you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.